talks and flashy like it's already done. Sunglasses at the office like it's season one. But Thursday's got that shimmer, got that wait and see. Champagne in the fridge and the key is still with me. Thursday's better than Friday. Don't just start a fight. It's the glitter in the hallway. It's the neon in the night. Friday thinks it's famous, but it's not before it's on. Thursday's got the magic, 'cause the best part's still to come. Ooh, Thursday's better than Friday, 'cause Friday's still coming and it hits.
And a happy, jolly, good, wonderful Thursday morning, gang. Yeah, we done made another day. And Thursday, you know, I was thinking about it this morning. Thursday is actually kind of better than Friday. Because with Thursday, you still get to look forward to Friday. Whereas Friday, you're excited about it. It's the end of the work week, if that's still your structure with the 9 to 5. But the thing is, though, as soon as you hit that, we'll say, 5 o'clock on Friday and you got the weekend, but immediately in the back of your head is the realization that Monday is just around the corner again. So there's like doom all the way through Saturday and Sunday because Monday's coming. Now, you don't have to look at it that way. As a matter of fact, you probably shouldn't. You should probably look at it, kind of reframe it. It's like, yes, Monday's coming, but it's not here today. Friday is mine. But this is why Thursday is better, because the most it gets wrecked by is just Friday. Oh, you hear those dings that were probably really loud? I forgot to turn off my little box's ding dings. Now then, the little ding dings are muted because we don't need the little ding dings. But anyway, it looks to be a lovely day. My day yesterday was pretty good, actually, because things wound up getting rescheduled again with my conversation and Q&A session with U.S. Senate candidate Micah Ashby. But if all goes well, 2 o'clock today, that should go off, hopefully without a hitch. And I got some things to do prior to that. So it's going to be a very, 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 very good day. Well, see, and that's good. Being retired and making sure that every day is a good day, that is awesome. Because even in retirement, it can be a drudge if you're not careful. But, say you, my friend Damien, you know how to start the day right. I'm just saying. We have coffee and we chat. And then Gar shows up and then the party really starts. So, you know, he's like the greatest co-host a guy could ever want, you know? Is in this weird new world that we live in. Just saying. So, but you're quite cool to kick it with too, Damien. Don't get me wrong. And I'm glad that you joined the Toys We Love Facebook group, because the guys over there with the admins, Lou and David and Brian, awesome guys. I've known them for a very long time from inside of the Migo community, and we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun in those days and went through all the civil wars together through that fandom, which has been nuts and stupid. And again, they have built a wonderful group community over there that's grown exponentially. And the best part is everybody's welcome. Say what you want to say. Don't be a douche, but at the same time, say what you want to say and talk about the things that you love and or the things that you don't quite love, and you're like, what is this and why, you know? But it's a really cool group, and the guys have a lot of really cool stuff. Like if you watch any of Lou's lives, wow, man, these guys have some very, very impressive collections. I mean, it's just wow. Me, I've got clutter right now. And it's so funny because, again, it's ironic within, you know, in the book, Toys or Totems, how I talk about, you know, reclaiming your space. Well, I did. And it looks like this. Why? Because it's my laboratory. And I'm really happy with the way my laboratory is set up, sort of. I got to be honest. I do some chipping away at some straightening and putting things away so it's not just falling all over, because again, just the way my head works on things, it can get cluttered like my head does sometimes. But you step back, grab pen and paper, and you start mapping stuff out a little bit better. Yep. And that's what I was doing. Plus I also did like I'd say a 95% digital detox yesterday. Once kind of saw where things were going as far as like not doing the 9 o'clock thing like it was planned. I was like, you know what? Turn it all off. And so I did. I turned off the computers. I'm like, you know what? Let it rest. I'm still working on the Evergreen Content System course, so that's not officially hot, but the authority and recording guide is still available. Again, it's a great way to get people started thinking in putting together stuff to promote their business or their organization or their hobby or whatever. So whenever you put a message out, it's got a better shot of not falling on deaf ears or being spammy or just being stuck knowing what to say, because it can happen. Because again, like the whole regular content thing, it can get grueling for your audience, so don't do that to them. That's why when it comes to what we're doing with our coffee talk, I really fly by the seat of my pants on this thing. I don't overthink it the day before. I barely think about it in the morning. I'll be honest, because I get up in the morning, I get myself all nice and awake and take care of the dogs and the cats and all that stuff, and that's great. But I don't put a lot of thought into this, to what the conversation will be. Sometimes I do, like when we did the walkthrough where we created Barney, the trash can panda, or the trash panda. That was very intentional. I knew, okay, we're going to do this today, and yeah, that was one of the rare occasions. Otherwise, I just kind of like to just see what's happening, go with the vibe. I hope that like before show, something will pop in my head to use the AI stuffs to like write a morning song, which this morning it did. It was just thinking about how Thursday is indeed a little bit better than Friday, because again, it's like if you're still into the 9 to 5 structure, Friday's always what you're running towards, but it has that finite stop at the end of the day and the looming, glooming Monday mornings coming next. Even though you got Saturday and Sunday to completely enjoy. And I wonder how many folks really do, or if they've still got everything that's coming the Monday, you know, just a thought, something to play with. And I wanted it disco, because why? Because disco is fun. You don't have to like disco, but the truth of the matter is disco music was at least fun. The driving bass lines, the horns, all that stuff, and probably the cocaine. That had a lot going on with it there to make it a lot of fun. I was too little to be overly impacted by the disco stuff, because you got to figure the disco era, will say 77 to 79. Really, it was a very short period of time. I was little. It didn't matter. It's like whatever. It was on the radio. Plus, around our house, it was country music. That was it. That was on the radio, and I didn't really listen to music in the house per se. So I was in the car, and it was country music, and it was Kissin' 96 FM. Later on in life, I'd go to work there as a disc jockey. But that's just kind of it. And so by the time, say, like 1980 hit, is when I got slapped in the face with all the new wave stuff that was dominating the charts with Casey Kasem's American Top 40. And I never really liked it, even as a kid, a little kid, 6, 7 years old, where it's like, yeah, okay. Because it was, I don't know. It's like now I get the nostalgia vibes whenever something pops up um, on the radio or wherever, and you just hear one of those tunes. It gets, you get hit in the feels with the nostalgia thing. But I don't think I would ever really go out of my way for any of the new wave stuff. Just not my thing. But anyway, it's here and there. But the best thing about the new wave, and also disco too, because in any genre really, but those two specifically, and thinking about it this morning, is that the best thing about those, they gave new styles of music that could be applied to novelty, satire, and parody songs like hardly anything else. I mean, because at their root, they're goofy, disco being goofier. Let's be real. Let's be real. If you're a big disco fan, you're offended by that, you have to admit, Play That Funky Music, White Boy is goofy. Donna Summer, pretty much her whole catalog is kind of goofy, and it just is. It's like that bass line, that standard disco bass line. The that type of, like, thinking like Kisses made for I Was Made for Loving You. When you think about that driving bass line, it again, it's like the 70s music version of the Calliope. You know, and that's me anyway. That's the way it's like, it gives me that vibe. I don't know, that's just me. But anyway, I was kind of scanning the headlines. It's one thing I do like to do of a morning is and this is where I gotta say I appreciate another one of the aspects when it comes to the AI LMMs, the large language, or LLMs, the large language models, is that it's great for aggregating the news headlines kind of quickly. And all I want is the last 24-hour recap, if there's anything that really happens, something to pay attention to. And I do my best to keep that query to, like, national stuff. Okay, what's everybody going to be talking about today? Then what happened in Arkansas, because I'm trying to get back into the habit of paying attention what's happening into the state in which we reside. And then also if there's anything hopping around the globe that's not just the same war talk in all the places. So just to kind of get stay a little on touch. And the only thing that, like, I'm like, okay, we can talk about this. This isn't terrible. Is nationally, we've got Chrysler issuing a large recall in regards to a trailer tow equipment package that they have, where the trailer lights may fail and the trailer brakes too. Lights are one thing, brakes are another. So you might want to be aware if you have a Chrysler product with the tow package. Be careful. They've done a recall. There you go. Everything else is pretty much, yeah, whatever. I don't care. All the same old stuff. And then I did not realize that here in Arkansas, though, that we are in a drought watch. Now, again, my front yard is muddy because of the snow melting. And it's like that perception that, well, my yard's muddy. There's no drought here. But in other parts of the state, there are issues with drought. There's still just not enough water. That's made things good. And so there's that, and around the world, everybody's still either blowing each other up or talking about blowing each other up or talking about not blowing each other up. And there is your international headlines. Ta-da! And that's just that simple. Let's see here. Let me get back over here where I can see the chat just a little bit better. There it is. Yeah, yes, the farm reports of a morning on the AM stations back in the day. Yeah, it was so funny because, again, this is another one of those things that and it caught me really quick, actually, when it happened. When I was a kid and I'd be down at my grandparents' farm, and they had the old radio, and it was just a little portable radio, right, with the one antenna that's stuck up, and it was the little rectangle with the black and silver accents, nothing fancy about it at all. And it was so funny because the top of the hour, whenever it was going into the news, and it was CBS News, and the CBS News theme, CBS Radio News theme was da 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 da, and oh my God, that grated on my nerves. I don't know why, but the CBS Radio News theme song, da 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 da, absolutely drove me nuts as a kid. I couldn't stand it. Fast forward to 1992, and I go to KARN News Radio 920 as a board op, and it's my job to push the button on the cart machine that played that damn da 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 da. It was a weird poetic justice nightmare thing. I don't know, but I had to, and then now it's one of the most endearing sounds ever. From my time as a kid with my grandparents to the time at KARN, which was really one of my most favorite gigs ever. Like I say, it wasn't my first gig, but it was truly my first best gig. Because again, I was 18 years old, really hungry to grow in the radio industry, and you could only get one step better in Little Rock at that time. KARN was number 2 in the market forever. Right, and it was news radio. Number 1 was Kissin' 96 FM, which had been dominating since the early 80s with once the urban cowboy music craze and all of that took over, Kissin' just soared to the top. Got some inside baseball on how that happened, but we can talk about that another time. But anyway, it was really cool to be able to be born in Little Rock and be able to get into radio in a medium-sized market where, as in if you were in a smaller town, man, you had to make some jumps to get to that point. So I was fortunate to be able to start at that point and then go from there. Now, yeah. So, yeah, Dr. Domeno, going back into thinking about radio times and such, Magic 105 in Little Rock carried the Dr. Demento show, but it was on Sunday mornings on Magic 105. And yeah, man, Dr. Demento was such a great, great show. I don't think I got plugged into Dr. Demento till probably about 1987, but I never looked back because I had actually purchased a Weird Al Yankovic album in '86, and it was the Dare to Be Stupid album, and that was like one of the, because I didn't buy like a lot of records or anything. I had more cassettes more so than records, and yeah, Dare to Be Stupid was one of the last vinyl albums I purchased. I think my last vinyl album was Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. That was the last LP I bought back then. And now, of course, they're back. Who would have ever thunk it? But yeah, the LPs are back, and that's fun. It's been fun for Caitlin because um, she has such a wide musical taste and variety. I mean, really, she can go from, I'll keep it the generic stuff, like she can go from like Sinatra to, any of the classic rock stuff, to the more obscure bands like on the world stage, like Måneskin, which I had never heard of, but they got some pretty cool stuff. They had done a cover of Beggin'. I can't remember who did Beggin' originally. I want to say, um, maybe Paul Anka? I don't know, but Beggin'. Anyway, but it's a great cover tune, and then their own tunes are really great, and they're an Italian band. And I'm always fascinated by those foreign bands like ABBA that, it's like their English is horrid, but their native tongue, just doesn't translate for the music business to actually make money globally and everything. Isn't that interesting when it comes to the English language? But I'm always fascinated by that. But anyway, so having vinyl back into the mix, and since you could still get a stack of vinyls at like your thrift stores and flea markets on the cheap for the most part. She'll play with all. It's just like back in the day. It's like when the album cover grabs you because it's just cool, like Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. Those album covers are just fun to me. I always have been, and yeah, it's fun. But anyway, so she's able to explore, and then when she's done listening to it, or she doesn't really kick with it, she'll just turn it into decoration on the wall. So she got that record store vibe going on. It's funny. She's cool like that. And then we both wound up getting a record player because we got Caitlin one first, and then as a couple years passed, I had actually found a record. And I was blown away that I actually found this record. I will share it with you now because it's one of those that's like so awesome to have found, because I don't know how long it's been now. It's probably been about 10 years ago at least that I got tuned into Earl Nightingale. I had never heard of Earl. Oh, Jim, don't kill it. But Earl Nightingale and The Biggest Secret. And like that was pretty much like the first most successful recorded like motivational thing, right, in that self-help space, that thing. Anyway, I'd listen, and boy, it resonated with me. And plus Earl Nightingale's pipes, man, wow, that guy, he was Sky King, he was a radio guy. And so everything about that just pulled me in, and I started learning about who he was and Sky King and all the other stuff, and then what he built as far as the Nightingale and the Nightingale Connet Publishing, to where they did the spoken word stuffs and speakings and books and all this other stuff in that motivational space. And to this day, and everything that I've ever seen from Earl Nightingale, he was never that sleazy type. You know what I'm saying? Because you get into a lot, especially now, where you get those motivational guru types who are just so full of, yeah, just no. So anyway, but I had found an original copy of The Strangest Secret on vinyl, and I could not help but grab it. I had found it actually at the Goodwill here in Harrison, and I don't even remember how long ago now. But anyway, but of course it's not in the greatest shape. It's got like the mildew, blah blah. But the record plays great, and I'm like, cool, man. So I got it, if only for decoration when I got it. But then lo and behold, a birthday came around and the girls got me a record player. And so, because I borrowed Caitlin's record player to actually play it. And again, I'm not one of those snobs who says, oh, vinyl is so much better than the CD or whatever else. No, it's different. It is different. There's a warmth in vinyl that you did with that analog recording that you'll never completely replicate digitally. But it's really good now. Good enough to where that's it. Hey, good morning to you, Mr. Gar the Ghoul. Glad you decided to come play, and glad you're here. So, anyway, yeah. So we're just kind of talking about a little bit of everything. We've now made it to where we're talking about like vinyl and such, and with it coming back and all the things, and again along the way, the girls have picked me up a couple albums that I just really talk a lot about, and one that was recent that the girls had surprised me with was the Kiss Dynasty album. It's like again going into their disco era and all that or phase that they went through. But the biggest thing is that album cover as a Kiss fan, my God, that one is so freaking cool. It just is. What is this? I found a. See, I picked up a lot, but I got to pick up more because things are falling all over the place. Oh, you guys will get this because this is another one that Caitlin surprised me with because I had told her the stories about the one movie, and you'll know which one it is as soon as you start leading into it. The one movie that, like every disc jockey who's ever been a disc jockey back in the day, knows that the movie is not just something to scare people with as a thriller suspense movie. It was reality, man. It was like a documentary or a biopic. But that would be Play Misty for Me with Clint Eastwood, right? Well, anyway, at some point in her journeys out with her grand, she came across Johnny Mathis's Misty. My girl knows me, so that was just awesome that she found. I'll pick that up later. But anyway, yeah. So she got me a 45, or the 45 of Misty from Johnny Mathis, and she said, "Play this for me." And I'm like, Caitlin Marie, good job. Yep. See, and that's the thing, Garwin, when it comes to like talking about like the album art. And the reason we kind of went down this rabbit hole in the discussion right now is that Caitlin, again, once she got tuned into vinyl and we got her a record player, because she was seeing like the album covers, right? And she's like, what is this? And so the things that she's picked up, I mean, she gets into like Italian opera, and all just and when you think about like the millions upon millions of albums that were pressed throughout the 20th century, my gosh, there's some gold and then there's some horrible horror gold type stuff, right? Especially like the gospel records. Those just kill me. The covers. I don't, do whatever you do with the music. I don't like God. I'll just say it like this. It's politically incorrect, but I don't like white people gospel music at all. It just gets on my nerves. They all have the exact same bass line. It's either slow or fast, but it's boom, 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 boom. It's just all the same. The harmonies are all the same. All the vocals sound the same to me. And it's just, stop it. But now black gospel, man, the stuff that I would hear as a kid in like a black Pentecostal church, wow, now that's different. That's dynamic. That would make you convert into Buddhism if that's what they were singing about, because they were just driving, man. It was awesome. Golden Records, a box set, 19. Batman came with a comic. Yeah, those were fun. Those were a whole lot of fun. And anyway, but yeah, so that's how we kind of went going down that rabbit hole there. Because again, it's just been good morning. Started the day off. Gar, if you missed it, I'll be playing it at the end or some point in between if I have to get rid of some of the coffee. But yeah, it's like today's thought of the morning kicked off with how Thursday is better than Friday. Because Thursday, still have the expectations and hope of Friday. Because, like, if you're still in that 9 to 5 world, Friday is still that conclusion of a long, hard week. And so you're striving for that. So Thursday still has hope in it, there, at least for Friday, right? Where Friday, you're like, yay, it's finally Friday. But then the reality sets in that, oh, damn, Monday's back very soon. And you'll wreck your weekend if you get stuck in that mindset of worrying about Monday again instead of enjoying the weekend construct that was put together for us. But yeah, just great stuff. Here's a funny story when it comes to like the black gospel stuff. And I love how inside of my life I've been able to collect stories of weird things that have happened that were very ironic. Okay, picture this. 10 years worth of TKO8 television. The most popular show on air in Harrison and Boone County was In Court. That was the Friday proceeding, the arraignment proceedings at the Boone County Courthouse, right? And we recorded that every single week, and it was painful. And I hated it for a lot of different reasons. But it was public information because people love to watch other people's misery. Fine, whatever. Not my show, not my station. It's what it was. However, this was too good and too funny not to enjoy. And that was, let me make sure I'm not scratching that mic. But it was just too much gold one time. For whatever reason, I think we had, there was like a short or just a loose wire inside of the microphone mixer. So it was like picking up the RF frequency from some station. I don't know what it was because there isn't a gospel station around here per se. So it was picking up something from somewhere. And anyway, so I got the cans on, so I'm monitoring the audio from the defense and the prosecution and the judge and all that stuff that makes up in court. And I'm sitting there, and again, like there wasn't a buzz. That was good, so that kind of calmed down. Again, working with really crappy equipment, but that's okay. So I had the cans on, and then one of the defendants, which was no longer a defendant, he took the plea deal, and I kid you not. As I'm sitting there and I got the camera on the guy and the judge is about to read the sentencing and all that from the plea agreement. And it was the funniest thing that could have ever happened in my ears in that moment. Song came through, bled through the RF in the line. And it was, "Are you ready for a miracle? Ready as I can be." For that to be the song that fired up as this guy was getting the sentence read to him, absolutely killed me. I may have wrecked the delivery of that story because I guess you had to be there and you had to be in my head, because the funny thing is it didn't bleed into the recording, which is good. I mean, that's fine. But it was in my can, right? It was in the cans. And so I'm like hearing this and I'm trying not to laugh while this guy is fisting to go down, man. It was funny. Are you ready for a miracle? Ready as I can be. Oh my God, that was so funny. But yeah, there's those wonderful little moments like that in life that I have to look back on the highs and lows of things and think how much I despise doing that in-court recording every week. But I got that moment right there from it. So that was like a win because it's a story now. And it was a very, very, very funny moment in all of it. Yeah, so it's funny. Funny. I enjoyed that so very much. 26 minutes into the 8 o'clock hour, says it's 27 degrees. What's it like in Florida now, man? Because I know you had the cold that went through Florida, even though it's winter, but it was a little bit more cold than normal Florida winter. What's the update, Gar, from the land of the orange and Ron DeSantis? Yeah, let us know. We're curious. I'm curious. Damien might be curious, but I know I am. But I don't know. It's funny, man, and it just really. I guess, I don't know, it's funny. I guess after 50, you start getting a little bit more reflective on things. It's just, I don't know. It's like the nostalgia train isn't as powerful as it once was, but it's just the memory train. And the things that do come back that you kind of like put in the back burner, don't think about. And I've been working on things always. And just mapping some stuff out. And it's so cool because I've had an incredible journey. And I've always been pretty appreciative of it, even though sometimes in the journey, some of the places I've been or things I've had to do, I've moaned and complained about a lot. But the truth is, I couldn't trade and wouldn't trade anyone for a better life lived, truthfully, because I got some great stories, man, that I may or may not share, but I got them for myself, and that's pretty cool. 47 in Florida right now, but it was in the 20s just days ago. Thank you very much for that Florida report there from the Sunshine State of Florida. Thank you, Garthagul. See, that was kind of cool. See, it's like you're the greatest co-host ever. I was telling Damien that before you hopped in. It's like, because I don't know, it's like there's a dynamic that's happening that I don't know where it could go, but I know it's always interesting. Always. Speaking of which, I'm going to be right back. I got to get rid of something. I got up way early. I got up at like 4 o'clock this morning, so the coffee's been flowing, and now it wants to continue. Dig, though, the morning intro song, because it was fun, because Thursdays are better than Friday.
Nice and flashy like it's already done. Sunglasses at the office like it's season one. But Thursday's got that shimmer, got that wait and see. Champagne in the fridge and the key is still with me. Thursday's better than Friday. Don't just stop by. It's the glitter in the hallway. It's the neon in the night. Friday thinks it's famous, but it's gone before it's on. Thursday's got the magic, 'cause the best part's still to come. Ooh, Thursday's better than Friday. 'Cause Friday's still coming and it hits just right. Friday's full of pressure, like naked legendary. Plans stacked up heavy, group chat gets scary. Thursday's on the dance floor, cool and in control. 1 foot in tomorrow, 1 foot in the soul. Thursday's better than Friday. Don't just celebrate. It's the grit.
And that is enough of that. But I thought it would be fun, Gar, just in that whole thought of Thursday being better than Friday and having the machine crank out, some lyrics with a little direction. But for the throwaway stuff like that, the machine does good. But I wanted it to be a funky disco thing, because funky disco is just fun. I mean, disco may suck, but as I was saying with Damien, it's still fun. The driving bass lines, the horn hits, all that, and you can still kind of smell the cocaine in the air. So there we go. So I've got a little bit of the snowpack left in on my carport over here. It's like the rest of the yard is pretty much melted off, but that's the shade area, right? So there's still some there, but that's all right. Alicia kind of likes it because we'll walk outside. She'll walk out with me when I'm taking like Jack the Wonder Dog out to go do his thing, and she likes it because it makes her taller. And so she was over it. She's done with all the snow and ice and all that, but she kind of likes the little mound. And I may have to get her some of those cross-training platform shoes that I recommended to you, Gar. That way, yeah, because she's a heel girl anyway. So, yeah, she does that. So, anyway, she's only like, most folks don't know, Alicia's only 2'3". No, that's totally not true. And she's going to kill me when I say that. But it's just kind of funny. But I'm not that tall of a guy myself. So, I mean, I'm only like 5'10", 5'11" on a really good day. Get rid of the coffee only to have a little bit more coffee. 8:31. I got a busy day today. What are you guys doing today? Oh wait, what we got? Wait. Got my Superman figures. Put up the nice, good. That's important. What we got here? Let's see. Let me come back up just a little bit there. George Reeves in the Adventure Superman episode that marries nicely with a horror. Nice. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun. And it's so funny because, again, I've been trying to like straighten, condense, consolidate, figure out what to do with the stuff that I've kind of got piled up on myself. But, and I'd boxed some stuff up already, and I was like sorting out that box. And it was fun because, again, I've got my Found in the Wild vintage T2 Superman, who is a total beater, frayed cape, no emblem, Batman's boots, busted band, but I don't care. He's perfect just the way he is. Really is. It's like I don't have any desire whatsoever to even dream of restoring that figure. Why? Because in that moment, finding him in the wild around here is always tough, and it clicks so well. Best $18 I've spent in a very, very long time. And then standing beside him is one of the ones I found that I put in a box, and it is the 50th anniversary Superman that Mego put out a couple years back now, however long it's been at retail. And I got to give it to Paul Clark. I mean, he did the reproduction right. I mean, there's the new body without the bands, and looks just about as close as you could ever hope to get to the original. And it's brand new. It's mine. All the memories associated with it are totally mine. Where the beater, I don't know where he's been. I hope there wasn't bail money involved, but there probably was. But either way it goes. But anyway, I found, and I've got quite a few of those actually, because the biggest thing for me, like when it came to that 50th anniversary release from Mego with the superheroes, as well, you can't see them as well now. But anyway, the thing was to find them at retail again. that was huge for me because it was that full experience. And like that day that because we were on the hunt and Caitlin was with me, and when we rounded the corner that one day, and bam, there they were back on the shelf at the Walmart in the collectible section versus the toy section. But you take what you can get. But anyway, it was like the guffaw. And Caitlin watched the guffaw, and her old man, who's been talking about this thing, this feeling, this whole why it matters when it comes to the connection with toys and everything. And she got to watch that in real time, and that was fun. But what's funny, and it was great, it wasn't terribly long, it's been within the past year. She had her guffaw moment. She's 16 now, right? So, and she's grown up with this philosophy that I have, or she's very much aware of it. And again, she'll give me some grief from time to time about it. But we were, I don't remember where we were. We were last year. We were going back and forth to Little Rock a lot with my mom, and we had popped in. We would pop into like the Walmart store and we kind of like stretch the legs, take the pee break, and all that. And lo and behold, at one of them, we rounded the corner in the doll aisle, and the Monster High dolls were there. Now, here's the thing about Monster High dolls. Yes, they're on the shelf now, but they're a different version. They've revamped, rebooted quite a few times since the dolls have come out, 16, 17 years ago. And so Caitlin's always grown up with them, and she's loved the Monster High dolls. Well, to see that Generation 1 style come back, it was like the special release for Halloween. Right there, the black and white versions are really cool. But it's the Generation 1 style of paint and body and everything else. And she had her guffaw. And it was awesome to watch. I couldn't have asked for a better moment watching her have her guffaw. And I had to grab them. Because, well, we were going to anyway, of course, right? But it's just so important. And it's like, if anybody watches this in the future who is young and has not had children yet, here's a tip that I would like to, maybe not a tip, just a suggestion to consider. Back in the old days, when people would have hope chests where they put like the important stuff in the cedar hope chest to preserve it for legacy and all of that, and to pass on the heirloom stuff. When it comes to your kid, whenever you get to the point where you have a kid, make a suggestion. At different steps along the way, when you get your child their first toy, which I hope you do, otherwise you're a douche. But when you get your child their first toy, buy two. One for them to have and enjoy forever and play with, or until it just disintegrates. But then the other one put into that hope chest or store it somewhere, right? Because one day in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, I assure you, when that resurfaces, you're going to bring some magic into your child's life in the future that you have no idea how awesome it is. And then do it along the way as you see the things that, as they're 2, 3, 5, 7, 10 years old, 12 years old, 16 years old, because we still do that here. But find them and do the doubles on that. That's the purpose for buying two in my world now. One for Caitlin to just have, enjoy, and play with. And the other one, just to tuck away. For like a cool little time capsule thing, yeah, that's how I do. Yeah, and it's fun. 37 minutes into the 8 o'clock hour. I got two things today, one at 10 o'clock and one at 2 o'clock, the 10 and 2. I'm driving my day, guys. I didn't even realize that. That's pretty cool. No, it's not. That's pretty lame, actually, Jim. I can own that. I'll own that. But so I got a 10 and 2 thing today. So 10 o'clock I got a thing, and 2 o'clock I got a thing. And I think I'm going to scoot now because I want to go. I got to chat with Alicia. She's up and having coffee and doing her thing. And I need to chat with her about things that we don't chat about on here. We can't tell you everything, man. God. Or maybe I will. I don't know. It's not really that super secret, I don't think. Maybe it is. She'll tell me. She keeps a good leash on me because if not, you know me, I'll run wild. Anyway, gentlemen. I'm going to roll up out of here and go do the thing. We'll have coffee again in the morning. And it is Thursday, see? It's Thursday, so we can look forward to Friday coffee. And that'll be fun. And it'll be great. And so we'll do that. And that's about it right now. I got to get on with my 10 and 2 day. So I'm going to hit the magic button and say goodbye and let everyone enjoy the fantastic disco stylings of... I need to come up with a name for the band. I like a house band. I got to come up with a name for the house band. We'll ponder that. So, yeah. So we'll have fun. Anyway, again in the morning. But anyway, let's disco this thing out till whenever I hit the stop streaming button. But gentlemen, we'll chat in the morning. and continue to enjoy coffee because it's the right thing to do.
Friday walks in flashy like it's already done. Sunglasses at the office like it's season 1. But Thursday's got that shimmer, got that wait and see. Champagne in the fridge and the key is still with me. Thursday's better than Friday. Don't just start a fight. It's the glitter in the hallway. It's the neon in the night. Friday thinks it's famous, but it's gone before it's on. Thursday's got the magic, 'cause the best part's still to come. Ooh, Thursday's better than Friday, 'cause Friday's still coming and it hits just right. Friday's full of pressure, like naked legendary. Plans stacked up heavy, group chat gets scary. Thursday's on the dance floor,